Hey, welcome to module number four. Module number four is all about the content creation side. So now we're looking at email templates, emails, SMS, and creating content block as well. So it's all about just how are you going to deliver your message, right? Once you have your contacts in the segments or even through custom triggers, in the journey later, you will need to select what channel would you like this email or sorry, what channel would you like to select, whether it's going to be an email, SMS, or if it's going to be a custom channel as well, like Whisper. So we'll start with templates. In templates, you can create different types of templates. You can create email templates. You can create form templates. You can create journey templates. You can create task template. The reason why we like to create templates is that it makes our lives a lot easier, right? If we are using a particular design or particular scenario email, if we create it as a template, we can keep reusing that every time we create that email, right? Same thing for forms. If we have a contact us form and we want to use that again for other branches, we can keep using the same thing. Same thing for journey and as well as task as well. So let's start with email. If I click on templates and then email, we will see how to configure your first email template in Customer Insight. So once this loads, you'll see all of the active email templates view. If I click on it, it will give me a few other things. I've got email template for a fragment. This is just an out-of-the-box view. I've got the imported from outbound marketing. For those of you who are new to Customer Insights, Microsoft's current product is outbound marketing, but that's actually been deprecated at the end of June. So you don't have to worry about it because by the end of June, it will still be customer insight. So if you see anything that says outbound marketing, just remember there is another version of customer insight app that's outbound. It's basically the same, just a little bit more feature in customer insight. Okay, so all the stuff that you see, these are out of the box email templates that comes with the trial account, right? So under gallery, we've got a few things. We've got a template for new products. So you've got new collection, you've got product launch, you've got product updates, you've got deals. These are templates that basically are out of the box. You can still customize them. So if you wanted to do a template for Black Friday, if you have an e-commerce website or anything to do with you selling things, you can go ahead and use this deals template and really modify it to your brand's colors, right? If we scroll down a little bit, we've got the follow up. So we've got the abandoned carts, product reviews, and then if you're doing anything to do with events or webinars, we've got the event invitation out of the box templates, event invitation 2, transactions, event cancellation. We've got if we're doing a informational sort of emails, we've got the email digest as an example. So you can see there's a few templates that you can already pick it up. Really, you don't have to start something brand new, but you can come into the gallery area and do it. And then if you click on custom templates, these are the templates that you have created, right? At the moment, you can see there's no data because this is a trial account and we haven't created any emails yet. But if we go to the gallery and actually just click on maybe let's pick. If we scroll down a little bit. Let's go with, just going to pick one. Maybe say order confirmation. Yeah, let's do that one. So click on that out of the box email template for order confirmation. Let's see what it looks like. It'll take a few seconds for it to fully load. Okay, beautiful. So the order confirmation, this is an out of the box email template, but the first thing that you can do is change the logo. If what we're trying to do here really is to learn just how the email templates works, right? So all this stuff may not be relevant to your business needs, but it's just about viewing and just seeing what's out of the box and what's not. But yeah, this is the order confirmation. You can, if your business use case has an order confirmation, you can actually use this templates. You can change the logo to yours. You can modify the text under the order. You can click on the image and link it to a particular product as well. You can add the quantity. All that stuff is there. The main thing to really know, or we need to focus on, really is the elements area, right? What is available in the email templates or designer, right? Or even in emails. So if we have a look at the elements, we'll start from the top. We've got text, right? So text will be this one here. So you can see the element is text. If I click on it, it starts with section, then so this is a section right here, and then you've got the text inside of it. What other ways do we have? We've got an image, right? An image will be right here. We've got an image there. That's another element. We've got a button. Let's see if we can find a button. We do not have a button in here, but if we were to add it maybe after here, let me just go back to element and drag the button just below after the order number is. We can add a button as well. We can customize the button text. We can customize the button color. We can even customize the size and elements, the spacing, as well as giving the URL of the button as well. We've got QR code, which is quite cool. So if you're doing events and you want, or even if you're doing anything to do with people being able to use their phone to use, you've got a QR code maybe on a building that contacts can come and use their phone, attach it to the QR code, and that QR code can take them to a particular page. You can definitely do that as well. Divider, you can add a divider as well, which is quite cool. So after the button, maybe I want a bit of space there. So there you go. There's a little bit of a divider there. If we go back to the elements, we've got layout section. So one column, that was that section there that we had. If we wanted to have multiple different types of sections, we can click on the section, and then on the right hand side we can choose 2, 3, or even we can just go more and actually customize it to how we want by adding as many columns as we need, and then you can modify the the percentage for each of them as well. So if I have 2 columns and I want one and 50% and the other one and 50% as well, you'll see that you've got one here and then one here as well. And then I can add the elements for the other 50%, whether I want a text, image, button, QR code, divider, or even a content block, which we'll get to as well. So that's the elements parts, and then this is the layout sections. If you wanted to do a bit of a custom one, you can just click on custom and really design your own sort of layout as well, which is quite cool. But that's elements. You can click on content blocks. Content blocks we will get to in a few minutes. But basically, if you're creating an email and you are using that same content block again and again, you can save it as a content block, and then you can reuse that again as well. Like for example, right, this bit here, let's say that in the other emails that I'm going to be creating, I'm going to be using the same get more good stuff, sign up for email updates in all my emails. I don't want to keep creating them again and again. So what I can do is I can click on this, and then I can click on more, and then I'll be able to where is the content block? Hey, is it this one? Save as a content block. Yeah, there you go. I can save that as a content block. And what this means is next time I create an email, if I want to use this bit here where it says get more good stuff, I don't have to recreate it. I can use that as a content block, right? So I'm going to save this, and once I create a new email, I'm going to use this get more good stuff as well. Oops, I have to wait. So I was a bit impatient. I'm going to give it a title and say get more good stuff. There you go. And I'm going to click on save. Cool. So my content block is now saved, which means I can use this little section later in other emails as well, which is quite cool. So that's content block. If I click on content ideas, this is the AI sort of helping me to add content or give me suggestions. It's great. Once you start to create a draft, you can click on the content ideas, and it can really start to give you some suggestions. You can already see here the AI generated content may be incorrect, so it's really important to actually check everything that it suggests. You can add key points as well, and then you can choose a tone of voice as well, whether you want to engage, casual, formal, or luxury, or adventurous. And then it sort of reads, it basically analyzes your content, and it gives you a bit of suggestions like this. It knows that this is an order confirmation, so it's already picked up the order confirmed and processed. It picked up the shipping details provided, and it also picked up the contact information as included as well, which is quite cool. And then you've got personalized. So this is another one where in the email templates or emails, you can really personalize an email to the contact that you're sending it to. So I'm sure we have seen or you have received emails where at the very top it starts with hi there or hi and then your first name, right? That first name is actually being personalized, right? So you can actually start to do that in your email templates and email as well. So suppose that a contact has purchased an item from us and we want to personalize it by sending them this order confirmation. We don't want to just send them hi there, right? We already know who they are because they made business with us. So if we were to personalize this email and add their first name, we would go to, let me just quickly get rid of this section that I was showing you before. There you go. Suppose we want to add the contact's name, right? First thing to do is to write down what we want. So we're going to say first name. We're going to double click on it, and then we're going to click on the personalized person here, and then we're going to wait for a few seconds until we see this pop up, and then we can go ahead and map the first name from the contact table, right? So we're going to go to contact, and then find the first name field, which is that one there, and I'm going to save this. So now I've added a personalizations in the email. So it's going to say hi there, and then it's going to add or retrieve the contact's first name, which is quite cool. In terms of personalize, you have a few different other ways to personalize the email as well. You've got dynamic ticks, which is what we've just done. You've got inline conditions, so you can do conditions based on the contact. So if they meet, certain criteria, for example, if they are from a specific contact, or sorry, a specific account or company, you can say if this contact is from X and Y Z company, show this data, otherwise hide this data. If this contact has previously purchased something from me, then show this. So inline conditions is basically that. Or you can say if a contact has purchased such and such item and that item is in their carts or it's in the order confirmation, then you can suggest other items to upsell them. If not, then just hide that. That's what inline condition is. I'll add some resources if you want to learn more about that as well. A list is very much similar to inline condition, so you can list items based on what the user has, based on the data that you have about the user as well. And then compliance, every email template and every email will need a compliance in terms of company address and also the preference center as well, which is already there. And then we've got themes. So you can choose a particular theme for your brand. So you can choose the color palette, you can do custom fonts, as well as the custom variables as well. And then lastly, we've got settings. Every email that you send will need to come from your, will need to have a reply to email. So at the moment, I'm using a trial account, so the reply to email is this funny, weird one. But in your domain one, it might be something like information@company.com, something along those lines. If we click on email settings, this is very important. As you remember, I believe from module number 2, if you remember, we talked about the data and consent. And as I was saying in that model, every time you create an email template or you create an email, the email setting will need to be associated to a particular compliance profile. In this case, it's a transactional because we are just basically saying, hey, you've ordered something from us, and we're just sending you a transactional FYI for the actions that you've just done. If this was a bit more of a commercial email, then the category should be commercial as well. Of course, you can pick the language and then the content type as well. And then the compliance will be, if I select here, the compliance should either be in the ones that I've created before, which is the default one. And then I can select the purpose for transactional. If I had a specific topic, I can select the topic, but this is an auto confirmation, so I'm not going to add any topic. If it was a commercial, if I switch to commercial, I remember I've created that business updates one, but this is a specific transactional email, so I'll leave it as that as well. And that is it. That's how you create. That's an overview of the email template, right? The next thing to do is to save this. So once you save the email template, obviously we are using out of the box template here, but it's based on the elements that I've described. You should be able to design your email the way you want it, and you know exactly all the options that are available to you. Once you save it, there is this magical tab here that says preview and test, and it's very, very important that you utilize this because it shows you what your email template looks like or your email looks like in a different browser, right? In an email or SMS or phone. So if I click on the preview and test, and go to the screen sizes, if I click on desktop, it tells me this is what the email looks like in desktop. This is what it looks like in a tablet portrait. This is what it looks like in a tablet landscape. This is what it looks like in a mobile. So it gives you a chance to kind of see if the layout is off based on the different screens, right? Mobile landscape. So, and the other thing that's really important here is if I click on edit sample data, if you remember what we did, right? When we were learning about the personalization, we added the first name, right? We're saying we are personalizing this email because we wanted to add the first name. If we wanted to test that, right? If I go to edit sample data under audience, if I add a particular context in there, and then look what happens under the loading personalization. That contact's first name should actually appear in there. So there you go. Hi there, Devon. And then the Devon is a contact that we've chosen. So that basically verifies to us that the personalizations that we added are working as expected, right? So it's another way to test. If you wanted to test this in your email, you can actually click on test it now, and you can add your email, and you can see it how it looks like in your email, iOS, or any other platforms that you might be utilizing later as well. We do have one error, so let's look at it at the very top. We have forgot to add a subject. So let's go to design. Let's go to the top and click here, and you can see that from is coming from the default brand sender. That's probably what you will see as well, because remember this is a trial account. But when you add your domain account, you should be able to see your brand name there as well. So I'm going to say this is a order confirmation, and then it also gives me an option to add a preview text as well. And I'd say preview text could be thank you for your order. Cool, and I'm going to save this now. And then we have this great option here as well. Oh, it's giving me another one. Give me a second for this to be saved. Cool. We've got this button that says check content. It's really useful to have this and to use this because it validates all of your email templates, and it also validates if any of your personalizations are working as they should as well. So you can see I've got that message that says, "Hey, we've done the check and everything looks good." So we can actually use this email template in our emails. So this is a template, remember? So now if we go to emails, actually we need to save, of course. And before we skip to emails, just wait for this to save. Yep, nice. So if we go to emails and we go new, and then just wait a few seconds. Every time you create a new email, you get the option to use email templates, right? So what I would recommend is if you're going to be creating lots and lots of emails, do them in a template first, and then you can use them as a template when you create the actual email so that your life is a lot easier. So you can see here, it's going to say, hey, would you like to pick an email template to use it? So I'm going to say yes. It's going to wait for all the email templates to load. And then our email template was the order confirmation. So once we do that, hit enter, we should be able to see that template in our gallery. All right, there you go. I'm going to select, and then I'm going to select. So instead of starting a brand new, fresh email, I'm saying, hey, I already have an email template. Let's go ahead and use that. And there you go. We've got a email template inserted into an email. And now all we need to do is add, just give it a name. I'm going to call this order confirmation. I'm going to save. You'll notice that nothing really changes, right, in terms of the options that are available to you. It's the exact same thing as email templates in the email as well. You've got the same elements, the same layouts, the same options, but this time you can actually use the email and set it to ready to send, so that you can add this email into a journey, right? So I'm going to validate this and I'm going to make it live, and this email is officially ready to send, which is fantastic. So we've done email templates. Let's go. We've done content block as well, but we haven't gone into in depth. So let me switch to content block now that we have our emails ready to go. Do you remember that we've created a small content block called Get More Good Stuff? If we click on it, you'll see that that content block is ready to go. So I'm just going to wait for it to load. One thing to note about content block is that if you use a content block as of right now, as of today, what's today's date? It's the 9th of June, right? 2025. Microsoft could update this in the future. So always look at the latest, updates. But as of today, if you use a content block, email template or email, unfortunately, once you come back to content block and if you update that content block, it doesn't automatically update it to where it's being used. You have to go and find where that content block is being used, whether it's an email template or emails, and you'll need to basically reinsert again. So hopefully, if Microsoft is listening, you can make that automatic. That would be amazing. But anyway, there you go. This is the content block that we had before. You can see that it's basically good to go. But what I want to do is I'm going to quickly show you what it looks like when you do it from a brand new one, so you can see what type of options are available to you. You'll start to notice a bit of a pattern, right? The same elements are available to you, just like email templates and emails for content blocks, because at the end of the day, it's still serving as a content, right? So it's just this time it's a little bit of a block. So I'm just going to add a section here. I'm going to add maybe a image. I'm going to say, let's see if I can, are there any images that I can choose from the library? There's probably no images in the library because it's a trial account. Yeah, there is no images. Let's see if I can fetch one from my PC, see if I can upload one. Let's see what we got in here. Maybe I'll do a random one. Let's just do that one. This is a active compliance profile screenshot. I'm going to upload that. And once it's uploaded, I'm going to click on close, and then I'm going to select that image, select it. So I've added a section, I've added an image, and that image is there. And let's just say, for the sake of the training, that I wanted to use this content block in a particular email. I'm going to rename this content block to content block 1. When you're creating content block, rename it to actually what it is. But for the sake of the demo, we're just going to say content block 1. We're going to go to emails, and we're going to go and new email. And I'm going to show you this time, instead of using it as a template, I'm going to say skip for now and just start a fresh new email. And again, you'll see similar sort of elements, exactly as how the other ones were, right? I'm going to get rid of the sections that you gave me when I started as a brand new email. So I've got nothing in here. I'm going to add one section. and I'm going to use both of those two content blocks that we've just created. So when I click on the plus icon, you'll see this content block, and then I can pick those two content blocks that I've created. So maybe I want to start with the image first. So that would be content block 1. And then I want to bring in the other one that we had, which is the get more good stuff. And I'm going to insert that there. I'm going to save this. And what I want to show you next is, now that I've used both of these two content blocks in the email, what actually happens to the content block? Like, does it tell me if these two content blocks are being used in an email? So let me just quickly rename this email, and we can go to those two content blocks and see. I'm going to call this one email for Contoso Ltd contacts. Just as an example, I'm going to save this, and once it saves, if I go to content blocks and then click on content block 1, let it refresh. If you have a look here where it says emails, it tells me that this content block is being used in this email for Contoso Ltd, right? Same thing for the other one, get more good stuff. It tells me that this content block is being used in this email, which is fantastic, right? Because how would you, it's really important to know which content block, which email is using which content block, right? But it goes back to what I was saying before about, now if I edit this content block, so if I click on the content block, and let's just say that I wanted to add another section, so if I go edit, I wanted to prove you the other concepts that I was saying before about the content block. If you update it, it doesn't update the content to where it's being used, to its associated email. So if I had another section here, and add a text and say test and save this, we know that one email is using this content block. We know that we've already inserted it into their email. But now we also know that we've just updated the content block. So does the content block also gets updated into the email? Nope, but we'll see, right? So now if we go to the email for Contoso Ltd, even though that we've updated the content block, the actual email where it's being used doesn't get updated. It just still has the get more good stuff, right? It doesn't have the little sections that we just added in the text. So that goes back to that theory. If you're going to be updating content blocks, at least you know where the content block is being used, and you will need to go to the email or email template, remove it, and then upload it again, and that should give you the new version. But in the future, who knows, Microsoft might update it so that when you actually update the content block, it also updates it from wherever it's being used, which will be quite cool. All right, cool. So we've learned about the email templates. We've used the email templates that we've created in here. We've also created our own emails. We've created two content blocks, and then we've also associated the content blocks with an email. We've learned that when we create content blocks, if we were to update content blocks, it doesn't actually update it to where it's being used. We have to manually go into emails or email templates, delete the content block, and reinsert it again. So that is the content creation. Obviously, we didn't go more in depth in terms of email designs and all that, but remember, this is a foundational overview. Now you know that you can start to create email templates. You can use the email templates to create your emails. You can create content blocks. And lastly, if you were to add these content blocks to emails and email templates and emails, you need to manually update them as well. The last one really is the text messages, right? So in the channels, you can do emails, but you can also do text messages. And the text messages one is actually really cool because you can sort of get this little, I always love to see this because it shows you what it looks like in your, when a contact is receiving it. So if I clicked on new SMS, the first thing that I need to do is select a text message sender. So at the moment, because this is a trial account, I have not added a platform for sending, text messages. Microsoft, depending on what country you are, has a lot of out-of-the-box senders. So I'm based in Australia, so you might see Whisper could be other platforms like Vodafone or any other, even custom ones, right? So you need to obviously pick your platform under settings, integrate it, because this is some serious business, right? You can't just send messages, and you need to really make sure that you configure that first. And then in the message, that's where you can craft your messages. You can add emojis. You can personalize your message, similar to how we did it for the email about the first name or any other data that we have about their contacts. You can also use customer voice as well, which is another platform that Microsoft offers. And then you can also do SMS keywords as well. Under compliance profile, of course, it's a requirement. Like I said at the start of lecture one, you need to select a compliance profile to send any emails or SMS. So I'm going to select the default one. Of course, you have to pick a purpose. Is it a commercial SMS or is it a transactional SMS? So it's a transactional for us because we are linking the order confirmation, right? So I'm going to say in the message, hi, I'm going to say first name, thank you for your order. And I'm going to say, please check your email for order confirmation. That's it. In terms of personalization, I'm going to highlight first name, click on personalization, and then I'm going to grab the first name from the contact. Yep, that's right. So I'm going to go new dynamic, choose an attribute, click on contact, search for first name from the contact, and then go save. And then I'm going to rename this instead of SMS1 to order confirmation SMS. I'm going to save. It's got similar buttons as you saw in the email templates as well. It's got the check content. It also allows you to test send as well. At the moment, I don't have any integrations with the provider, so I probably won't even be able to do a test send. But yeah, that's how you create the SMS. And then in the next lecture, we can actually use both the email and the SMS that we've created in a journey, right? So that we can send our contacts the emails and the SMS as well. I know this one was quite a bit, but it's the most heavy ones. So if you've stayed all the way through, fantastic stuff. I'll see you in the next one.